Hello, welcome back to Mr. Kent. I was going to say Professor Kent because sometimes Professor Kent, sometimes Teacher Kent, Mr. Kent. Okay, we're today, of course, it's from Apple Pie English School. Today we're doing the story of Easter. Sorry, my camera's moving. The story of Easter. So, of course, it's a very important story to remember. So, the story of Easter, and we have other videos that you should watch in the. I'll make an Easter playlist. But of course, we have a kids version, like I think it's Spot's First Easter. This is maybe for more adults. It teaches you about Easter. For example, many people, I didn't know until I saw this book, but do you know the Easter tree? Maybe Christmas decorations on the tree come from maybe Easter, I would guess. So let's see. So the story of Easter. So remember to buy this book. So it's not a bad price. You Canada and America, buy this book. It's called The Story of Easter. It's one of the best books, I think. It combines the secular and the religious. So the religious part of Easter, and also combines the non-religious part of Easter. So it's a very interesting book. So by Elan Fisher. So let's see. So here, of course, this is the Christmas tree, Easter tree, which we'll learn about later. I think it comes from Germany, maybe. Let's see. When was this book written, by the way? Written in 1968. Quite an old book, but still very up to date. Let's see. Okay, here we go. You can see here, don't forget when you're reading something, always follow with your finger. Before I start, don't forget to like below and comment if you're enjoying these videos. Let's see, here we go. Easter. Easter is a time of rejoicing. It comes in spring, when the cold, dark days of winter are over. Birds return to sing. Grass and flowers begin to make a new sorry, I can't read this backwards. New carpet for the earth. Yes, a new carpet for the earth. For Christians, Easter Sunday is the greatest. Is that greatest? Sorry, it's hard to read this backwards. Yeah, greatest holiday of the year. It is a day of joy. It celebrates the resurrection of Jesus of Nazareth, who rose from the dead. Dead. Right, death, who rose from the death to new life many years ago. Yes, okay. So maybe to be faster, I'll just show you the pictures as I read. So you can see here. This is, of course, Easter time is a time of rejoicing. It comes in the spring when the cold, dark days of winter are over. So, of course, it's showing that. So let me see. Next page. So if you want to read it yourself, please pause and read it yourself before I read it. Okay, so you can see. Now we're going to talk more about Jesus, or in Spanish maybe Jesus. Let's see. Almost everyone knows something about the life of Jesus. Sorry, I'm trying to get the picture up. Almost everybody knows something about the life of Jesus. As a boy, he lived in a small town of Nazareth, near the Sea of Galilee, in what is now northern Israel. When he was about 30 years old, I think he was 33 years old, he began teaching and preaching and healing the sick. His fame spread quickly, and soon he had 12 disciples, or followers. They went with Jesus and learned from him as he walked through the countryside, talking to the people. Crowds gathered to hear Jesus preach. Many people began to say that he was the Savior, or Messiah, they had long been waiting for. Yeah, I think Messiah means messenger, which is in a lot of different religions, not just Christianity, where they do messenger. Okay, and next, let's see. Here we go. I should show you here. If you want to read yourself first before I read to you, please pause the video. Okay, there you go. Early one spring, Jesus and his disciples walked the long, rough road to Jerusalem to celebrate Passover, the holiday on which Jews celebrate their liberation from slavery in Egypt. On a mild Sunday morning, Jesus rode into Jerusalem on a donkey. People cheered and waved branches of palm trees to welcome him. They spread palm branches before him. In honor of this day, Christians celebrate Palm Sunday, the first day of the Holy Week. Often, palm branches or crosses made of palm leaves are given out at church services. After that first Palm Sunday, Jesus preached in the outer halls of the great temple at Jerusalem. You can see. So, great temple of Jerusalem for several days. People crowded around to listen and praise him. But he had enemies too. The authorities accused Jesus of breaking laws. They were they were afraid that he was gaining too much power over the people. Yes, a lot of people called him the King of Jews, actually. So he was little by little becoming too powerful. The more powerful people were scared of him. Okay, here, you might know this picture from before. Again, here's the story if you want to pause and read it yourself first. Okay, here. So you might know this picture. Let's see. On Thursday evening, sorry, let me make sure the picture's center. Okay. On Thursday evening, Jesus ate the Passover supper with his 12 disciples. During the meal, he rose from the table, took a basin of water, and began to wash the feet of his disciples. Jesus did this to show that he was willing to be a servant to those who followed him. We now call this meal the Last Supper, and the day Maundy Thursday. For many years, the chief ceremony on Maundy Thursday was washing the feet of poor people. Today, can I move here? Yes. Today, people often give Maundy Monday to the needy as well, in honor of the bread and wine that Jesus and his disciples shared at the Passover meal. Many Christians celebrate the Eucharist, or communion, as is more commonly known. So communion, when I grew up, I had a communion too, on Maundy Thursday. This is also a traditional day for first communions and joining the church. Yeah, very typical. After washing the feet of his disciples, Jesus led them to a large garden outside the walls of Jerusalem to spend the night. Toward morning, Judas, one of the 12, led a band of temple guards to the garden. They seized Jesus. Yet Judas, he's one of his 12 employees. Judas contacted the temple guards, and he got money to tell them where Jesus was. Okay, again, let's see here. So you can again stop and read if you want. Okay, and here. And don't forget to continue. The end of the book tells more about the non-religious part, so we will continue until we get to that part. Okay, so here you can see the crucifix. Okay, after hearing, the authorities found Jesus guilty of stirring up the people and speaking against the things they had held sacred. The Roman rulers sentenced him to death by crucifixion, as was common for political prisoners at that time. Yeah, he was a political prisoner, so the Romans crucified him. So Jesus was taken to a hill outside Jerusalem and nailed to a cross. Because of this, the cross is one of the most important symbols of the Christian religion. Yeah, he had to carry his own cross there, actually. This happened on a Friday morning, a day we now call Good Friday, or God's Friday. For Christians, it is a day of sadness. Many churches hold a service in the afternoon with short sermons about the last words Jesus spoke from the cross. Before the sun went down on that first Good Friday, friends of Jesus took his lifeless body from the cross. They laid it in a stone tomb and rolled a great stone before the door. You'll see what that looks like in a minute. But yes, Good Friday was the day that he passed away. Let's see. Here we go. Yes, this is what the tomb looks like, actually. They were talking about the stone door. They had a stone door in front of the tomb. Again, please pause if you want to read this yourself. Sorry, here you go. Okay, now, at sunrise now, we're getting close to what Easter is. At sunrise on Sunday morning, Mary Magdalene and 2 other women went to the tomb. The big stone had been rolled away. The stone rolled away by itself. They looked into the tomb and saw a young man dressed in a white robe. So he was dressed in a white robe. "Do not be amazed," he said to them. "Jesus is risen. He is not here." Oh, the young man is not Jesus, maybe an angel then. The women ran to tell the news to the disciples. They remembered then that while they were still in Galilee, Jesus had told them he would be crucified. And he had also told them, "After 3 days, I will rise again." This was the 3rd day. And so he promised after 3 days, which was Easter. Good Friday, he passed away, and by Easter, he came back. On that first Easter Sunday, Jesus appeared to the disciples. He told them to go back to Galilee. He said, "Go into all of the world and preach the good news." The disciples understood that Jesus wanted them to spread the good news of his resurrection and to teach others what he had taught them. And that is how the Christian church was started. Yes, so they spread the word about how he, even though he passed away on Friday, on Sunday, Easter Sunday, he came back. So they preached that to the whole world. That's how they spread the church. Okay, so it's right here. You can see, if you want to pause, please pause, and you can read again this part. Okay, let's see. And we're getting close to the non-religious part. Let's see. The date of Easter is now, this is going to explain the date of Easter, which is confusing. It's a movable holiday. So the date of Easter is not the same from year to year. Most people celebrate on the first Sunday after the first full moon in spring. So again, after Spring Day, after the first full moon, next Sunday. So in 2023, it's April 9, but it could be anywhere from March 24 to April 25. So again, the date is after Spring Day, after the first full moon, the next Sunday. But Orthodox Christians use a different date. That's interesting. Yeah, there are 2 days for Easter. They celebrate Easter on the Sunday following Passover. So you got to find when Passover is. Long before the celebration of Easter began, people celebrated a spring festival. They danced and gave gifts. They rejoiced over the rebirth of life in the fields and woodlands. After the Christian religion spread to many lands, the joy of Jesus' resurrection became mingled with the joy of spring festival. Both celebrations stood for new life. Both stood for new hope in the hearts of the people. And so, it is not strange that many of the customs of the old spring festival became part of our celebration of Easter. That is true. Romans actually joined them around 300 AD, I guess. They joined a lot of the spring festival with a lot of the Easter or Jesus or Christian festival. So they joined them. That's why we still have symbols like this, where the bunny rabbit or the sheep or things like that are symbols, or chicks. So or flowers, because that's spring, and we connected it to the Christian faith with Easter. Okay, so again, here, please pause if you want to read this about Easter eggs, so you can see. We're going to start working on Easter eggs. What do they mean? The Easter egg is a good example of a custom that began many thousands of years ago. For ancient peoples, the symbol of new life was an egg. When the shell broke, new life came into the world. In India and Egypt, people thought, can you see it? Yes, you can see different people around the world, these people. In India and Egypt, people thought that the world began as one huge egg. This world egg split in two. The upper half became the heavens, and the lower half became the earth. So this is the earth and the heavens, they thought. For countless years, it was the custom to give eggs as gifts during the spring festival. The ancient Persians and the ancient Chinese did so. So did the people of Northern Europe during the Middle Ages. The egg is also one of the ritual foods eaten at Passover. Yeah, so because they thought the world was heavens and earth was one egg, so all of them celebrated it. Yes. So let's see, next. Let's see. Yes, okay. Yes, now we're going to start talking about decorating the egg. You can see she's decorating the egg. We're getting close to what the Christmas tree is, and there's some symbols here. Again, please pause if you want to read this. Okay. In some countries of Europe, decorating eggs has been a great art for many years. In Poland and Ukraine, Ukraine's in the news a lot recently, girls and women paint fancy designs on eggs before they are dyed. They paint the designs with beeswax and try to make each one a different. They paint the designs with beeswax and try to make each one a little different. Yeah, a little different. Flowers stand for, so you can see the flowers here. Where's the flowers here? Flowers stand for love. Deer, can you see the deer? Deer stands for good health. Roosters for wishes. So rooster, male chicken. Roosters for wishes that will come true. So future wishes. And the sun for good luck. Yeah, so each symbol means something differently. After the design is finished, the women dip the eggs in bright dyes. When the dye has dried, the women melt away the wax. The design under the beeswax stays the natural color of the egg. Yes. In Russia, artists made beautiful eggs of crystal and gold. Sometimes they decorated them with jewels for the Tsar and his family. One goldsmith, Carl Peter Fabergé, yeah, they're called Fabergé eggs, won worldwide fame for the jeweled Easter eggs he made. Yes, Fabergé eggs. They're very famous. In Greece and Turkey, Sephardic Jews invented a way to dye eggs using onion skins. Wow, interesting. Oh, sorry, my camera. Onion skins. And this tradition spread to Latvia, and other Eastern European countries. Yes. Okay. You can see we know how the eggs are decorated now, where it came from. Now we have the Easter tree that I talked about earlier. Again, so you can pause if you want to read this. Okay. Many of the Easter eggs of Europe have crosses and other religious symbols on them. That's right here. You can see the whole picture. They carry words or letters that mean Christ is risen. This is also a common greeting during the Easter season. And the traditional response is, Christ is risen indeed. Yeah, so one person says, Christ is risen. The other person says, Christ is risen indeed. The Germans were the first to make an Easter egg tree. Yeah, I thought so, from Germans. Carefully, they pricked a hole at the end of a eggshell, and blew out the inside of the egg. Yeah, it's called a blown shell. You put a hole in it. You usually have to put another hole, right? Yeah, you have to put a hole at the top and a bigger hole at the bottom. And you blow out the egg, so you have just the shell. They colored and decorated the shells and hung them on a tree or bush outdoors. Sometimes they use bright ribbons and tinsel, other decorations on an egg tree indoors. German settlers in Pennsylvania brought the custom of an Easter egg tree to America. Yes, they brought the Easter egg tree to America, which I think later evolved into what we use as a Christmas tree. Yes, but they used to put not just eggs on them, tinsel. So tinsel we put on the Christmas tree too, so it's very similar. Okay, let's see. So again, from Germany. So remember, there will be a test later. So remember all this. Okay, here we go. Yes, you can see the Easter bunny's coming up now. Okay, and here, please pause if you want to read this to yourself first. Okay, let's see. Here we go. They're doing an Easter egg hunt. On Easter Day, there are often egg hunts. Children scurry around to see who can find the most eggs, which have been hidden in the house or in the garden. Sometimes the eggs are real eggs. Sometimes they're brightly colored candy ones, or chocolate eggs, wrapped in foil. The Easter Bunny is supposed to bring the Easter eggs and hide them. Yes, the Easter Bunny brings the eggs and hides them. He is very shy. He comes at night and no one ever sees him. Yeah, no one can see him because he's shy. No one knows how the story of the Easter Bunny began, but the rabbit is an old symbol of Spring Festival. It stands for abundance of life. That's right. An Easter Bunny is a symbol of Easter because rabbits, they're a symbol of wealth. And that's why we still have Easter rabbit's foot. We still rubber rabbit's foot for luck. Because they were a symbol of wealth and luck because they have lots of babies. So if they have lots of babies, they should be a rich animal, people say. So of course, he's shy, and I like to use the word mischievous. He will hide the eggs. Also, the basket in your house, he'll hide the basket somewhere. So you have to look for it. It's not like Christmas where it's under the tree. Okay, let's see. And by the way, word of the day, rabbit. Rabbit, speaking of. Bunny, I should say bunny since we're talking about Easter. Easter bunny. By the way, rabbit is adult animal and bunny is the baby. So Easter bunny is the word of the day, bunny. Okay, and the next page we're going to start talking about traditions and stuff. So please pause if you want to read this first. Okay, let's see. Now here. Many of the Easter customs that have come to us from long ago have changed along the way. In the days of early Christians, Easter was, so I'm trying to make sure it's on video. Easter was the time when new members of the church were baptized. Afterwards, they put on a new white clothes as a sign of their joy. Now people like to wear something new on Easter Sunday. That's right. So because baptized means when you're going to join the Christian church, you're going to be put into water. And a long time ago, they would do that with just their underwear. So to celebrate after that, they would wear brand new clothes. So now, public baptisms in lakes are rare. But to this day in America, a lot of people have their first suit. Like I had my first suit as a child on Easter Day. You'd wear it to church on Easter Day. So first suit, or for women or girls, you have first dress. In Europe, many people carry on the old custom of taking a walk after church on Easter. They walk through the fields to see the flowers and listen to the birds. Yes, so see the flowers, listen to the birds in Europe. In New York City, this old Easter custom has turned into a fashion parade on Fifth Avenue. So I didn't know that. I'm not from New York, but on New York, maybe they'll walk around showing their new fashions on Easter Sunday. Okay, I think we're almost finished. Yes, last page. So here, pause if you want to read it. Okay, here we go. So, on Easter Sunday, millions of Christians attend outdoor services, often on a hill where they can see the sunrise. There is an old saying that the sun dances as it rises on Easter morning. Inside the churches, Easter lilies bloom in the front of the altars. People lift up their voices and sing. Not all Christian churches celebrate the Easter season in the same way. But the message of Easter is always the same. It is the joy and celebration of the belief that God's love is stronger than death. Yes, that's true. But exactly, yes. As the sun rises. So that's why on Christmas and sometimes on Easter, we will have usually church services for Christians in America anyway, maybe around the world, are from 10:30 a.m. to noon. But on Christmas and Easter, we have like a 7 a.m. service, or it depends on the church, maybe 6 a.m. We try to do like when the sun rises, but most people can't get up before 7, so maybe from 7 to 8:30 instead. But I think also on Christmas and Easter, you can go 7 to 8:30, or you can also go 10:30 to noon, or both maybe. But yes, because of Easter. Okay, by the way, if you buy this book, in the back of the book it has how to decorate eggs, and it also has interesting hot cross buns. It's a recipe that we usually eat on Easter. Also, deviled eggs. That's homework for you. You should research on the internet. Deviled eggs. So like the devil, the word devil, E-D, and then eggs. They're a very common half-egg snack. I'll say snack that we eat on Easter. And of course, we eat ham in the afternoon, and we eat those deviled eggs. We eat lots of eggs on Easter. So of course, we eat lots of chocolate. I mentioned this before in another video about Easter, that chocolate festivals, Halloween is number 1, and number 2, eating the most chocolate is Easter. Because Halloween eats a lot of other stuff, candy, snacks, gummies, but for Easter we eat mostly only chocolate and the eggs. And also we eat a lot of eggs. We eat a lot of eggs, we eat a lot of chocolate on that day. Thanks again for watching. Thanks again for watching to the very end. I know this is a longer video than I usually do. By the way, do you like my cats? I don't have a Easter bunny t-shirt, so I wore my cat t-shirt because it's colorful. I thought it matched Easter. Thanks again for watching till the very end. Don't forget to subscribe, watch these other videos here, some other reading videos on our channel, and also other popular videos about, for example, Easter, about other things we do on our channel. Thanks again for watching till the very end. Have a good day. See you next time.